Hey folks, happy Tuesday.
Can we get your reaction to the boundary changes, please?
Yeah, look, I'm very pleased to see our electoral community and the Epsom electorate holding together. I think people next door to me, Brook van Velden and Tamaki, be welcoming people in from the Glen Innes suburb where she spends a lot of time working hard. And generally, I think they've made a pretty good set of suggestions about in a tough set of circumstances with the North Island population falling relative to the south, probably for the first time since the gold rush. Also say to my friends in Dexter Ave and Montlegrand and Croydon Ave, we're going to be mounting a campaign to keep you in the Epsom electorate.
Do you think at this point, I mean, even if you did lose the Epsom electorate, you'd be fine if you had to move somewhere else, or the ACT Party vote? You're well above the 5% threshold at this stage.
Well, look, I just really take a lot of pride in representing my neighbours in Epsom, Parnell, Mount Eden and Remuera and Newmarket, and I don't intend to think about that, to be honest, but yeah, it's a nice hypothetical for some, I guess.
You picked up quite a bit of Auckland Central around Newtown and I think Grafton. Do you think it's going to influence your vote in Epsom?
Look, I think it'll be a great relief for the people of Grafton to come over to Epsom and get some high quality representation if that's where the final boundaries are drawn.
You said a couple of weeks ago about the school lunches program that you'd brought the review from term 2 forward. Has there been any progress on reviewing that program, and have any tweaks need to be made?
Well, not really. I mean, as you now know, the big challenge we've faced was the collapse of LaBelle. They've got into $14 million of debt, and that's not from the school lunch program. They've had problems with a lot of people. We have been working to replace the capacity that LaBelle was not supplying. That is the number one issue. As far as the review, what it finds is that we are trying to get on top of that problem. We're checking it every day. They need to produce 70,000 meals at that facility. The last few days they've been producing about 55,000. It got down to zero for a couple of days a couple of weeks ago. That's why we've had problems. I expect to see them getting up over 70,000 in the next couple of weeks, and then the school meal program that was originally promised will actually be functional.
So with the bell gone, do you believe that all the problems are gone?
I believe all the problems we've faced, repeat meals in plastic that shouldn't have been in plastic, substitutes, all of those problems come from not delivering what was originally contracted, not between us, the government, and Compass, the main contractor, but between Compass and one of their subcontractors. That problem is now being fixed day by day as they get up to speed under new management at that facility.
You were laying a lot at the feet of LaBelle. I mean, were they the problem all along?
Well, I mean, the simple facts are, why did we have substitutes? Why did we have plastic? Why was plastic being burnt? Why were there repeat meals day after day? Why were there the wrong meals? All because that one facility was signed up to produce 70,000 meals a day, and they weren't producing that many. They were producing far fewer than that. We were having to hustle to get substitutes in. That led to problems. So I'm not here to blame, point fingers. I'm just here to deal in facts.
Very much.
That's what we faced.
You outlined a litany of problems.
No, I'm dealing in facts. The problems we had due to repetition, substitutes and mishandling and overheating of the substitutes were all caused by a lack of supply from that one facility. You know?
Today's 5 years since New Zealand went into lockdown first time. Looking back on it, would you personally do things the same or differently?
Look, I'm really proud of the contribution I made to the debate in that time. ACT put out, if I recall, at least 4 substantial policy documents of here's how we make the rules fairer, here's how we use better technology, let people use their RATs if they're approved in Australia, don't wait till New Zealand approves them, allow businesses and schools to make their own rules about vaccines, allow people who want to do frequent RAT tests come to work if they don't want to get vaccinated. If we'd done all those things, New Zealand would be in a much better place than it is today.
Are we prepared for another 10 years?
I believe it's critical people make submissions to the Royal Commission, which has now been widened in its scope, so that we are better prepared for the next pandemic. I understand a lot of New Zealanders don't want to think about those days again, but in my lifetime, in your lifetime, I'm quite sure that something very much like COVID-19 will happen again. It's just the laws of averages. More people, more complicated food chains, you're likely to get something like that again. And it's critical that we are better prepared for the next one. We literally can't afford to do it the way we did it last time because we spent all the money.
Do you remember where you were when you heard we were going into lockdown?
Look, I don't remember specifically where I was. I think I was probably here in this building. I certainly remember walking across this bridge in a very eerie and weird circumstance, and I think that may have been the last day on, was it maybe the 23rd when we were here, and then it was just a roller coaster from then on. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, folks.